order. It's 1.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none.
I think John and Tim should handle all of the motions and seconding tonight.
All right, who's here for public comments? No one for public comments?
Who is Dale?
Bill Post?
Public Safety Committee?
Yes, Dale Post is Bruce Post.
Okay, Dale.
Okay,
Teamwork.
Well, we can move right to public safety if you people are ready.
Evening.
Good evening.
How's it going?
Hi, Beth.
Hi. Sorry, it's too cold. Plus, I don't have another parent here, so I couldn't come down. Thank you for talking. This will be short. Wanted to give you an update on what the committee's been doing and also talk about some functionality we'd like to get off the website. So, we've met, I think 4 times, 3 times officially, and 1 time we did not have a quorum. And we didn't properly notice it because it was a virtual meeting. The meetings have centered around organizing the committee. The committee has voted and will now meet on the first Wednesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. That took 4 meetings, believe it or not, to come up with that.
believe it.
Where? Where are you
There,
meeting?
where you guys are.
Is it available via Zoom?
So it hasn't been, but we can certainly do that. But that's part of the functionality I wanted to chat with you all about. I feel like I've been not efficient in my communications about those types of things. So that's one of the reasons I'm here tonight. We didn't put in a budget request for 2025, as I'm sure you already know. We expect to put one in for 2026, but we have no idea what that would be right now. So we're going to take the year to collect data and consider. We have a great, consistent group of folks showing up every week. We have decided that we would like to speak at pre-town meeting and at the town meeting to let people know that we're here. And we would also like permission to pass out a flyer that is advertising the next public safety forum where folks can come out. We would like to hold that on April 26th at 2:00 at the Academy building. So that's the main reason that we came before you today, is to get your blessing to hold that public safety meeting. And happy to talk about what we want to do different or the same, but I'll just stop there for a second to answer any questions people might have.
Day of the week is April 26th.
The Tuesday? No, it's a Saturday. Sorry.
Okay, good.
Yep, it's a Saturday. We chose a weekend. We
Yep.
did a Wednesday at night last time. And so we wanted to do a Saturday this time. And we wanted to do something after town meeting, but before baseball starts for everybody, or softball or soccer, although soccer might start anyway.
Wait a
We're
minute.
going,
I believe April 26th is the academy is booked all day.
so Loretta already checked that and it was not booked. Who's speaking? I'm sorry.
This is Rita, and I handle the scheduling at the academy.
Okay. And is that published somewhere?
It is. It's on the calendar,
What calendar?
the website calendar.
The town calendar?
the town website calendar, yes.
Okay.
Maybe Loretta checked before it was booked, but I had no idea, so I reserved it. Sorry.
Who can reserve into that calendar? I know Loretta can, and the select board members, and I know Victoria can. Obviously you can, Rita, but this is one of the things that's really slowing us down is trying to find a meeting space. And we may just find a different space for the same day. But what's going on the 26th? We don't want to compete with anything either.
It's a private party. And it's a first come, first served basis.
I understand what you're saying, but when we're in meetings and we're trying to reserve something, what is the next step? Do we need to immediately reach out to Victoria? Or if it's not on the calendar, what's the process to get on the calendar?
To fill out the rental agreement and get it to me ASAP.
Okay, so we didn't do that last time.
No.
I did. Oh,
Loretta, you did?
no, not for the earlier one, we did not.
Is the
Yeah.
calendar public so she can see it?
There is a public calendar on the website, but we've had this discussion before, Beth, about space and the office conference room. And sometimes there's stuff booked in the office conference room that is not on the web calendar. We do try to keep the Academy building calendar really up to date. But if you guys have dates in mind for something, if you let us know ahead of time, we can soft book things for you until you pick a date and then hard schedule it so that it's available. Like, if you communicate a little more on the front end, we can help you with scheduling the space. It's just once it's already booked in place for somebody else, we can't go back and undo that to accommodate you.
And I'm not asking you to. What I'm trying to get is an idea of what's the most efficient procedure. And I feel like we still haven't found it, because what I just heard you say is things come up and the meeting space gets taken. So let me just back up for a second. We will, what Saturdays in April are available right now for the Academy building?
At present, it looks like Saturday the 5th, Saturday the 19th, and then Saturday, May 3rd are available.
Okay. So can we tentatively put the 19th down as for the public safety public forum at the Academy building, please?
What time would you like?
2:00 in the afternoon.
You're on the calendar.
Great.
Internal, please let us know.
And then with respect to the first Wednesday of every month, going back to our regularly scheduled meetings, you sent me a very detailed email about what was available, which I really appreciate. And I just took that to the meetings to clear with all of our members. So are we now in the space that you're in right now, every first Wednesday at 6:30?
First Wednesday at 6:30, it's yours.
Thank you. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the substantive format for the now April 19th public safety meeting? Or suggestions for us that I can take back to the committee?
What are you suggesting?
So we're suggesting more buy-in from our legislators this time. I have been emailing with Allison Clarkson, who has said that if we give her enough advance notice, which this should be, that she would come if it was on a weekend. She wouldn't be able to come during the week because the legislator's in session. we also spoke with VSP, who said they would come, and potentially the Windsor County Sheriff, who we met, Bruce and I met at the White River School District Safety Meeting. I don't know if Jamie Canarney will be able to make it, but we'll be inviting him as well. We're also I've already reached out to Ward Goodenough, who's the Windsor County State's Attorney, and I'm going to reach out to Colin Seaman, who's the Orange County State's Attorney. I think those folks are important to the conversation, especially in light of the recent arrests that have happened in Bethel and Royalton, and the frustration of the community over the fact that these arrests were 2 years in the making. And then for the most part, those individuals were out the very next day. So I can't get a judge. I don't think one would come. But those are our thoughts. And then we want to open up a sign up for folks that are interested in talking about a neighborhood watch in their particular neighborhood. We had one person come to our meeting in December who is interested in starting a neighborhood watch up on Happy Hollow Road. And really that's it. And then there's been a huge amount of folks stopping me and other members of the Public Safety Committee to see if we could do common sense community action based policing, I think is what it was called. They had this going on in pre-COVID and it stopped because of COVID, but it's less of an outward watch and more of a partnership with VSP where they set up a tip line and you can call in and then VSP uses that in some way to determine the areas of Windsor and Orange County that need extra coverage. And can't see if Loretta's there, but I'm sure she could talk to that a lot more intelligently because she was part of that group the first time. That's our plan. And so how does that sound? Any suggestions for any of that, or does the select board not like any of that?
No, that sounds good to get more of the legislative people in, because you said that at the last meeting, that was an interesting angle, I think, because that's what's so confusing about, I think for me, like, I feel like Loretta can only do so much because then it's that the law is the law. And maybe just on that, maybe, I don't know if you would want to reach out to the law school and just check in and see if there might be a professor or somebody there. I know you're a lawyer too, so you can explain whatever, but maybe there's someone there, or just as a tie-in to the community, that they could explain more about those legal steps. I don't know, that's just a thought.
So aside from this meeting, this public safety forum, we're tracking legislation in our community every month. And we've signed up for the VLCT weekly legislative news. And every month, VLCT hosts a webinar for free. You just have to register for it. And they talk about what's going on up in Montpelier. There are 3 bills, probably more, but there are 3 bills that we've been tracking. They're actually on our agendas that relate to public safety. And then there's some repeal of some bills that also relate to public safety. There are also some funding mechanisms that we're tracking that relate to grant money that would go to law enforcement or fire and rescue. And the goal is to watch some of those bills. And when they get to committee and it's open for public comment, to have us go up there to, anyone who's any resident of Vermont is allowed to show up at the State House whenever you want, when the legislature is in session, And if they're going to talk about the bill you want to talk about, you can go into that committee, into that hearing room. It would be great if, and my goal is you can see who sponsors the bill and reach out to that person to see if that person is interested or their office is interested in talking to us. Some of the things that are going to affect Royalton relate to fire and rescue. Tim Parker talked about this in our meeting. He couldn't make it tonight, but there is an OSHA requirement for training that public fire departments have had to adhere to, and the state is trying to determine if they want all fire departments to have to adhere to this, which would be a financial strain, according to what I've learned, on the department. And there's a bill that's offering grant money to local departments to alleviate that strain if that bill gets passed. There is a repeal of the raise the age law. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. We talked about that at the school safety meeting. The legislator passed a law saying that for some offenses, except for the top 5, if you're 25 or under, you can be tried as a minor or a juvenile, and you will not face, as it was, in the past, when you were 18, you were an adult and you were tried as an adult. They're trying to repeal that. Some folks in the legislature are trying to repeal that. They didn't get the vote on the safe needle injection site in Chittenden County. That doesn't really relate to Orange and Windsor, but and then we also talked about, from a positive side, how we could improve mental health services, which goes hand in hand with public safety, if we supported some housing initiatives. So those are the things that we're talking about in the committee, and we're certainly reaching out to the law school. So far, we'd like to have a member of the law school, a student, be on the committee. I can certainly look to see if there's a professor that I knew that did this is not there anymore. Cheryl Hanna, and I'm not sure that there is a professor at Vermont Law School right now. And Ken Kryling isn't there, so I don't know who's teaching legislation. I would have to go and look. But that person, one of the things is we're trying to decide if we are going to have people who aren't Royalton residents on our committee, because strictly speaking, that's not been the case. So they would have to be not members of the committee, but just consultants. And then the last thing is VSPs agreed to come every quarter and let us know what they're seeing in our community. And then we are going to we'll let the public know about this at town meeting, what we're hearing, what we're seeing, and what we're hearing in the community. And the Royalton Police Department has a link on their website where you can, we'll talk about this briefly at town meeting, where you can call in information, or not call in, where you can click on the link on the website and give the Royalton Police Department a tip, as it were. So it's still a lot of, organizing or getting our name known, but I think we've also reached out to Bethel, and Bethel doesn't have a public safety committee, but they are interested in working with Royalton to see what is possible to improve public safety. I'm sure you all are aware of the 9 individuals who were arrested on Gage Road in Bethel, and their ties to Royalton as well, and Tunbridge. So that's really what we're trying to do. So what we would need some help, so that we don't step on toes, which we're certainly trying not to, is we would like to know what is the appropriate mechanism to get on the town website so that we can post our agenda, so that we can post our minutes.
That would be to have one committee member who is willing to take on that task. to set a time with me that I can set them up with access to the website. You can also, in the interim, send those things to me and I can post them on your behalf.
So we have, we've nominated a chair and a clerk. And I'm the chair and Megan Moore is the clerk. And so that would be her and I. And I'll reach out to you to set up a time, and maybe it's separate for Megan and you, and then she can show me. But we also I created a unique email for the Public Safety Committee, a free Gmail account at Victoria's suggestion. So it would be great if we could, when we meet with you, if we could get that set up, like the Planning Commission, like the Rec Committee, so that everybody's names are there. And then we're going to just use the general Gmail account, not put everyone's personal email on there. I think that's acceptable under Vermont law because we are not a deciding body. We're an advisory committee. And then once we do that, I think we could post the Zoom link. I did pay for my own Zoom account. Is that the process that you go through? You use your own Zoom account or how do you get a Zoom link for your, monthly meetings?
The town pays for a Zoom account that the committees share access to.
And do you just give us the same login for every meeting, and that's just our login?
It's committee dependent, but generally, yes.
Okay, so our next meeting
Hey,
is
Beth. Hey, Beth.
yeah.
Can you maybe come in and talk to Victoria about that? Like sometime, like those specific, like the details of how to do that?
I didn't. Yeah, that's why I'm talking to her now. I didn't know I was supposed to talk to her. I sent an email about it, and maybe I didn't understand her reply. So I will email Victoria, and Megan and I will come in. But again, it might be harder for me because, we both work full time. So I'm sure you're not going to be there on non-work hours, and I'm at my regular job. So I might just send Megan. I think that's it. Dale, did I forget anything? Or Bruce? Okay.
They're muted.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. Bruce is still learning.
yeah, no, I think you covered it pretty well.
Okay. I don't feel like we needed to tell you anything. What would the select board prefer so Stuart is receiving all of our meetings. He's attending our meetings. What's the preferred update interval that the select board would like from our committee?
Post your minutes after your meetings. And, I would say if you've got any issues, come to the select board meeting. The next available one. And otherwise, probably a 2 or 3 month, just general update.
Okay. So every 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do any of you have a problem with us doing what I said, all the things I said, like going up to the legislature, talking, like, is there any issue that you foresee with us speaking on behalf of the Royalton Public Safety Committee?
I do know area legislators are having a breakfast meeting at what used to be Vermont Tech, the Shape Center, on Monday, the 17th at, I think, 7:30.
Okay.
Breakfast. So you may want to go there to let all the area legislators know you're a committee trying to solve a problem.
That's a great idea, John. Thank you.
I know John O'Brien said he's going to be there. It's hard to pin him down for anything, so.
Yeah, he's the one that hasn't responded back to me yet on any of my emails.
He doesn't email, he doesn't phone.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate it. Thank you, Victoria, for that clarification. Megan and I will reach out to you about that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Beth.
you.
Thank you for working on this.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye. Okay, municipal planning grant resolution.
What is it?
It's, to authorize the application for the municipal planning grant to do the housing development study on the Hope property.
Oh, yeah.
Typically, the board will have maybe the authorizing official for the municipality under your approval. And then the second is usually a board member, Stuart, probably you in this case. And really that just means that I get the fun of going into gears and pressing all the buttons to push the application
Oh,
along.
good.
Okay.
So you have fun. It's good. I make a motion, we approve the municipal resolution for the planning grant.
I guess I second.
Any more discussion?
That's for the Hope property. There's no match to it.
It's 10% match. They intend to apply for a $20,000 grant, so it would be a $2,000 match.
And the planning commission, I'm assuming. Who facilitates it? Is this VLTC?
Two Rivers.
Two Rivers.
Okay, I'm too confused sometimes, I apologize.
It's a planning grant.
It's a planning grant.
Is it stuck on that property, or is there a possibility that they might say that doesn't look appropriate and can we try another spot?
I would imagine that we are applying for a specific
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
Usually, so we had a municipal planning grant for the South Royalton Futures. So then it's kind of like that stepping stone of saying like, okay, now we know we need a secondary planning grant based on this history of saying like, oh, we've kind of identified like the Hope property is available and could be put to better use. So then you're going for the secondary planning grant.
It doesn't lock the select board in any decision, it's just.
No.
No, and actually, at the
Options, I get it.
yeah, and at the last meeting, we actually discussed several different options. How it may go depending now that it seems like the fire department is more active in pursuing using that parcel again. But there may be, as we discussed last time, there may be a way that it's suitable for multiple uses, and so we could do more than one thing there.
Yep.
And the grant would allow us to identify that.
I mean, I still believe that property is too valuable for a fire department. It'd be good to put it back on the tax roll and have housing. And focus on trying to develop municipal services here on near the town office.
Yeah, I guess always the big impediment here is for them is water
Yeah.
and getting.
Try to
water
get a
here.
water grant, expand the water district here.
Yep. But it can all be
Yeah,
pieces of the same conversation. It doesn't lock us into anything.
There's a deadline on this?
The grant application is due middle of March, something like that. The select board has to sign and the planning commission has to sign and then we'll submit it. And it's just an application for the grant.
So we're authorizing.
We're authorizing the
We just
application, we're not even
prefer sign-
authorizing the money at this point, so.
Yeah, looks like there's two places for us. For each of us. Okay. All those in favor of moving ahead with this grant, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, ayes have it. Buckstand Bridge. Impact on Marks Park.
I don't think there is an impact.
Well, we have a letter here.
Is there?
Right, so, V-Trans sent notification that they intend to make a de minimis finding, which basically means that any, negative impact to the park is outweighed by the public benefit of the temporary bridge. They're looking for the select board to concur with that opinion.
I make a motion that we concur with the de minimis finding.
I will second it.
Any further discussion?
Oh, I don't know what the alternate would be if we said, ooh, no, where are you gonna put that temporary bridge?
Yeah, it means we don't get a temporary bridge,
Yeah.
that's what it means.
Um,
No, I was looking for the overlay permits. We seem to be flying right along.
I don't see them. All those in favor of accepting or of moving, of signing this
I want you to say de minimis.
minimus
Yeah.
finding?
Yes.
Yes,
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
we need our Latin translator.
And anyone opposed? No. Yeah, so we're moving right along.
Perfect.
Minutes.
I will make a motion, we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
A second.
Say aye. Warrants, coming through them, it'll look good to me.
What's the,
I haven't seen them, so.
The White Rock?
no, I have the freighter, the $9,000. Lucky's trailer, Freightliner.
This for the transfer station?
No, it's gonna be repair work on a highway truck.
What happened to it?
I couldn't tell you, but a Freightliner at Lucky's for $9,000 is repair work to a highway truck.
They replaced the windshield, is that the same truck?
Probably not, but I don't know.
And honestly, I haven't heard.
You don't know what happened?
I do not.
They've had some broken chains and some seized parts and other things that were beyond their ability to fix in the garage.
It would be nice to know a little more about this stuff
Yeah.
than just getting the bill. So. Maybe our next highway liaison could work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
not want to pay that one until we have more information?
Well, I believe we probably have to pay for it, but
No, I just was curious. I mean, I just saw big Lucky's.
It's a
bill.
big bill, so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
big bill.
Yeah. It's,
And the other gigantic
Yeah.
bill was from Weed, and I believe that goes with the transfer station.
Yes, that
That's
is the double
the
walled
liner.
leachate tank that we had to replace.
yeah.
That happened
The board
back,
already knew about.
back in,
Yes.
back in
Yeah.
October.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they just, they,
Right.
we missed the invoice or it
It's still.
got caught in somebody's email somewhere, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
got me a little excited.
Um,
Big bill for
$6 grand
weed.
worth of weed.
yeah,
Must be from East Bethel.
yeah.
Delivered with a grenade launcher.
What are the
Yeah.
dual triple cams? Are they for you?
Dual triple cams?
What's the company?
Dual triple cams, Lowell, McLeod's.
What is Springs?
Tony?
McLeod is Springs.
Yeah. That's-
Highway department.
Highway.
Jesus Highway.
Trucks are expensive.
They are.
They do all have a maintenance budget and most of the time, the maintenance budget is sufficient, but it depends.
What is the maintenance budget for each truck? Do you know?
It's in the
It
budget.
ranges between $7,000 and $12,000 per vehicle based on age and historic costs.
And is there a mechanism if, like, if we're about to blow through their maintenance budget, are we warned beforehand, or does it just show up as
Right,
a
we should
bill
get, like,
generally?
That's what, one thing we should, whoever is the liaison should be like on top of what, or, you know, talk to Demi about. Like, let's see where we're at with that. Are we on track if it's,
I mean, in
You know,
December,
July.
so you guys got financial reports through the end of December that had all of those
Yeah.
line items, and the maintenance budget was doing okay.
Okay, yeah,
But unfortunately, that's kind of how it happens, is
yeah,
something breaks and it's expensive. Yeah, it's one of the reasons to try to keep some surplus in your highway fund, so that when you have unexpected maintenance costs, you're not in a true deficit.
mhm.
But yeah, and you guys will get another financial report. I'll try to get you on a, probably the second meeting in March. Since your first.
do you
meeting.
do that? Do you put that report
I
together?
do put financial reports together. Typically monthly, recently not as often, just because we've been so busy with other things.
Yeah,
But yes, you guys usually get a financial.
When oftentimes, and maybe not with this example, Demi does call me,
Can I see the warrants?
and I often say, is it within the budget?
Yeah. For sure.
But if you wanted more detail, I would share that with him. I don't think.
Well, maybe we should, ask for an explanation just so that we don't fall out of the habit of.
Yeah. What habit we did fall out of it, I think, we did it with other boards. Was we asked Demi to come to every third meeting.
I thought we did.
Well, if we did, yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, I know.
But,
He was here not too long ago.
yeah, I can tell you firsthand that he's starting at 2 a.m. because he drives by my house and they bucketed all that snow to make room for more snow ever again. But you know, on a Sunday morning, he started at 2, and at 2 in the afternoon, I stopped and chatted with him. And he was still going, so. Something probably more than it should be. When those kind of hours you can work. That's the next liaison.
Any more questions on warrants?
You know, what is this? Okay, here we go.
You've overweight permits.
Durango Safety Death Investigation,
They might be in reading.
I'm sorry?
Durango Safety,
Oh, yes, that's a class that Oscar went to for death investigation.
no, the class.
Yes, yeah, the week-long training.
It would. Well, I'll wait till we go to the next one, but. If the board would be okay, we don't have the overweight permits in front of us. If the board's okay with me signing off on them after I look at them, it'd be. Great. I'll be happy to do it.
Is your last official act?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, yeah, sure. What's your capacity? Leaving? No, I want to.
I think that'd be fine.
Do we have to vote to authorize that, or can we just?
I think we probably do.
Well, before you move on from warrants,
Oh,
we left the board, we have two short-term debt notes that the town took out to cover the FEMA from July 2023 that are coming due. Both of those need to be paid by bank draft. I am looking for a motion from the board that we have your permission to make those payments via bank draft.
And we have the money.
We do have the money. Yeah, believe it or not, we have
I
recovered,
know.
well, I say recovered, but we've been reimbursed for $2.39 million of FEMA repairs. I still have
wow.
$400,000 project value on Gee Hill that we're going around about, and then, when we get to the Broadbrook slide, that will be FEMA as well. But
Okay, so one at a time, we've got five, we've got a approval for bank transfer. Principal max 500,000. And that is for
that one's for our Harbor Bank.
our Harbor Bank, but what? Was that for the, part of the, what's being reimbursed by FEMA or?
That's $500,000 that we borrowed as a line of credit, while we were waiting to get reimbursed from FEMA that's going
Okay.
to.
So we need approval to sign this. What is that?
I'd like a motion.
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
And it looks like it's just somewhere on the blank page.
That's just a promissory note. I don't have a bill for that at this point to be able to tell you what the interest will be.
Okay,
But we bank with Bar Harbor and it's a Bar Harbor loan. We'll be able to just do a transfer to cover it. And we'll get the invoice and the receipt, so you guys will have that for next time.
okay, so we don't have to sign anything there.
You do
Next-
not have to sign it.
The next one is the Vermont Bond Bank. Must be paid by ECH wire
Yep,
for 714,000. So,
if it makes you feel any better, we borrowed 1.1 initially.
I guess it makes me feel a little better.
Where are you going?
I'll make a motion to pay that one as well.
Second that one too.
I have no idea how to pay ACH or whatever it's percent.
and
Electronic.
this one we don't need to sign either. Because there's no place to sign it.
Right.
Okay, all those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the last one is USPS postage for town report over unknown, approximately $500 to $700. You're asking for blank checks on all these.
I know. Well, the postage, we have to write the check to the post office after Spalding calculates how much the postage is going to be. I did talk with Penny today. They were having printer problems.
Of course.
They are doing their best to get everyone's town reports processed, but she did not have a postage estimate for me. So we're just looking for permission to pay that off cycle, and then you guys will get a warrant for that one next time, because it'll be paid by check,
And this one does have a place for a signature. I assume that's me.
most likely.
Just one line.
Just one board member, it's fine.
Authorization to sign this?
I'll make the motion that you sign your postal authorization.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that one's taken care of. That one. That one's signed. Right. Other business.
Overweight permits, did we authorize that
For Tim to sign
for
later.
Tim to sign?
John, is that a motion?
Yeah.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 I have time on Thursday and stuff in.
Thank you.
Thursday's gonna snow. You getting on a
It's
plane?
not gonna stop snowing for a while.
Getting on a plane?
I'm getting on a plane a week from Friday.
Oh, okay. So it's not gonna happen.
5:50.
Any other business?
I noticed when I was walking down to the library today, that they plowed the railroad street and they dumped all the snow that was in the parking area right on top of the sidewalk after the guy had plowed it.
Happens every day, every storm.
Years ago, we used to have them plow it into a windrow like, and they came with a bucket loader and trucked it away. So it didn't get dumped on the sidewalk.
Last year, there was a pile of snow on the corner of Kelsey Street and Safford Street that was over 6 feet high,
Couldn't see
right on the
around it.
sidewalk. couldn't get around it, and it stayed there until it melted.
I noticed the watering trough is gone.
It's been gone.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's
People
a
are,
big massive pile of
people are
snow.
also falling at the library, there's been
Yep.
several falls.
It's very
Um,
icy there. I don't know what happened.
It needs to be shoveled
Yeah.
and sanded, and, I see our sidewalk guy put in 9 hours from the last storm. In 2 days. Apparently it was just, clearing with the tractor. That's under buildings and grounds, it's not highway.
But there's no way his snowplow could move all that snow on Railroad Street off the sidewalk. It was up to my knees, packed in heavy.
In the past, do we have to ask for this stuff to be removed special?
What's that?
I'm asking Tim.
In the past. I didn't realize that they were doing something different on Railroad Street. So. No, I'm not aware of why we changed anything. Or why we changed what we're doing.
I think
we
it's just,
can request, there's no.
Of course we can.
Can't
Of course we
get
can be
somebody to
like,
do it.
don't do that.
we can't get them to do it.
What's that? Keep it off the side?
So.
Oh,
we
the
get
road
off the
crew?
tractor.
Oh, no, the buildings ground guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. I don't know why we can't.
They won't do it,
Oh, well,
or he doesn't
Our-
get asked, I don't know.
no, our past one, we asked, and he couldn't because of an existing hernia. So way back when my wife was the director there, they had somebody who was either a volunteer or whatever they were, they kept it clear really, really well, and that was when the only entrance was the stairs. Then I think we have to put it in the job description. Or make the demand, or there's no reason why we can't. Somebody said they won't do their job.
Well, we brought this up, I brought it up with Walter. Previously, this year, and it never happens. So I don't know if it doesn't get relayed to the guy who's doing the work. Or if it's, that he gets the message and doesn't do it, something isn't happening.
Can we bring, I mean, this is an employee, can we just bring them in and have a conversation with them, or can we designate somebody from the board to have that conversation?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I just don't know how the process is supposed to work.
Yeah, Walter should be telling him, yeah. But also, are you saying it's a problem also with the town trucks, because the town trucks are pushing it onto
That's what
the.
happened on this last
It
storm.
needs to be like, we're on the same team here,
Right.
and everybody's like, not on the same team.
It's like, you tell them that this is a problem, you plowed the snow and left a pile in front of the sidewalk, and the only excuse you get is that, oh, that happens when you plow the snow.
Yeah, I would just say
No.
it's unacceptable.
It has to be cleared for pedestrians, and that's
Right,
what needs to happen.
we've had difficult conversations before that didn't necessarily end. Without some bruising, but. There's no reason, that's what we want, that's what we should be getting. I'm incredibly oblivious to things like this, I am.
Well, last time we had a good snowfall, there was a windrow of snow between the sidewalk on Chelsea Street, all the way from
One end to the other.
one end to the other, and you had to leap over it to get to your car.
You couldn't get out, yeah.
And I did, and fell on the ice, and it's like, so I talked to Walter about it, and he's like, oh, you know. That shouldn't have been done that way. Okay,
Well, no, I feel bad that you felt, because that's my biggest fear in the winter.
well, there's a lot of older people that are falling, at the library and on the streets and because of the sidewalks and.
I think there's a ton of like not clarification. I still don't even know after a year of being here, like what and whose job is what or who's in charge of what, you know, I mean, I'm kind of getting it, but I think we should really like take this opportunity and do a lot of clarification in the next little while with the next board and have those specific things really like
This-
clarified as to what the job is.
This idea of putting it in the job description, I guess, is the way to deal with that.
But it might, that takes time. And we need it immediately.
On North Windsor Street, the sidewalk that the law school maintains was cleared, but the other side it wasn't, you couldn't even walk on it.
That's true. When I go to the radio station, I walk right down the middle of the road.
Yeah.
There's no good place.
I mean, and that's the other problem is like. Who is the kids, I'm sorry, what is the buildings and grounds person that does what is his name? Cameron.
Cameron.
Oh, sorry, you be careful.
Um,
Personnel, yeah.
He usually does a good job.
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Please.
That a board member or two who feels really strongly about this, schedule a meeting with both Walter and Demi to discuss the
Yes,
plowing and the
that's
sidewalks
exactly right,
in
yeah.
South Royalton Village.
yes. Mm-hmm, yes, a good idea. But I was just gonna say that sometimes the sidewalks get plowed first and then the plow truck comes through and
dumps it all
buries
back.
Right.
all the work that
Which
he
is
just
why I
did.
That's
want
why
the
this
meeting
is-
with all of them at the
Right.
same time.
They
Agreed,
need to
Yeah.
work together.
yeah.
Okay, I think we've beaten that horse enough.
Which select board members would like to schedule that meeting and have this discussion? Because you're supposed to get more discussing weather on Thursday.
And
And
then Sunday.
Sunday.
Me too.
I will.
30.
I think it'd be good if you did, since you're gonna take over the highway.
Well, I mean, that's not decided, of course,
Yeah.
John.
I will join you.
Yeah.
And
The two of you
Two of
can
us.
sit with Demi and
Depending
Cameron.
on the,
How about you, Patrick? You wanna be there?
No.
That'd be a warm meeting.
Full.
I think that isn't a given because of who might be coming
Yeah.
on board has previous experience. With highway.
Oh, that isn't a given? Oh, I know it's
You
not,
being- You being. the
Yeah.
liaison.
I know it's not a given,
I
yeah,
joked
I
about
can-
it a little bit, but.
yeah. But also, somebody new might be a better
Yeah.
fit
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
somebody who's done it, you know. So who, not that I'm gunning for it at all.
Sounds like you were.
Not. But yes, so how can we set that up with Demi
That was
and,
easy. I will.
and if it's supposed to be before a storm on Thursday, that means tomorrow. Trying to set something up, that seems a little,
I would try it.
Yeah, oh, okay.
just have to do an impromptu meeting.
I don't have Cameron's number. I'll be happy. I mean, Victoria can share them with you.
You wanna meet with Walter?
Or is Walter? Yeah, Walter's his supervisor.
Good luck.
Um,
we can talk about it after this.
I
I
can-
gotta go
yeah.
do taxes tomorrow, so I know that I'm,
okay, can't do it tomorrow.
yeah, no, I'm like, well, that'll be really,
It'd be good and angry.
yeah.
Are we gonna go to executive session?
We gotta do it, see if there's any more other business.
Pre-town meeting, are you all prepared?
No, that's, yeah, I would like to talk about that. I would like to see if Demi is coming to the meeting on the town meeting. You know, since we aren't gonna have Tim there, who did the majority of fielding everything at town meeting last year, so. I don't know, I think it would be nice if Demi was there. I mean, you know,
Just request him. He'll be happy to.
okay. Um. And then,
And you got the figures for the option tax? Cause that'll be voted on at town meetings, not a Australian thing. The floor vote, it's floor vote.
right, no, I know, I should get more prepared for that.
Victoria had some good estimated figures of what it would bring in.
Also, you know, in the office every day next week, or you can send me an email with things you would like. I'm happy to answer your questions and pull together.
Cause I think it's a good way of capturing some tax money from people who don't live in town that are using our services. And it's 1%, I mean, what you order at Worthy Burgers isn't gonna be that crippling, most people aren't even gonna notice it.
Yeah, and use examples, use a real bill. Say,
Yeah, I mean,
you paid $15 and so 15 cents of it goes to this tax.
you go to Crossroads and you have a couple burgers and a couple beers and it's $50, it's 50 cents.
Yeah, but I think it's important to use
Yeah.
those real
Numbers.
Yes.
because otherwise people think, oh, it's just another tax and you're gonna be paying it.
But will help maybe lessen some of our property taxes if we use the money and it'll go into the general fund and we get budgeted out that way.
Oh, yeah, when is the, can you remind me when the new bridge is going, or the temporary bridge is?
I don't know. So right now, the state is still working through like all of the initial planning and the permitting. That's why you got that de minimis finding from Kyle. They are hopeful that it will go out to bid in early spring, but then the installation is gonna depend on contractor availability and where it can fit into the construction schedule.
And we pay what percent of it? For the temporary bridge?
We are going to be responsible for 5% of the installation costs, which could be anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million, the total cost.
Yeah.
We pay the 5% of that. And then the
Yeah,
rental.
Then the monthly rental fee or yearly rental
Sorry.
fee on the test.
It's a monthly rental fee. The last figure I had on that was $276 a month. Both of those expenses will be able to be covered from our existing highway improvement fund.
Only 200 and something a month?
Yeah,
The installation's the killer.
It's-
The kill-
it's the
the installation,
installation,
yeah,
yeah.
the rent for $200, big deal. Adds up.
That comes out of the road budget?
the highway improvement reserve.
Highway improvement reserve.
Did the installation look $1 million?
Yeah, so it's like 75,000, I think, is what I plugged in for. When I was trying to make sure we could cover the spread. We got a lot going on for highway right now,
Yeah.
between Fox Stand and then our cost share of Broadbrook and North Road. But we're
Yeah.
okay.
And Chelsea Street sidewalk,
That's a separate,
although, yeah,
our share of that is set aside
It
separately.
won't happen for another year anyway.
I know. We seem to get monthly bills.
Logical separation.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that you can think of that we're gonna need to answer?
I bet. Wait, what's that?
Any other topics that you can think of for this, pre-town meeting? I know we'll hear about them at the time, but I'm hoping we can.
Pre-town meeting, it's also your final public hearing on your flood hazard regulations. We also, I didn't hear any board complaints about calling a speedy select board meeting ahead of your pre-town. Cause I will need you guys to motion some documents for the loan for North Road.
Loretta and her team will be there to sort of direct parking at the academy. With all this snow, we might need help.
We can be there. I mean, there's only two of us, but.
Yeah.
Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
6 o'clock for the town.
For
us.
quick select board
yeah.
meeting, cause I assume you're not gonna wanna do it after.
Right, no. Who's going first on the agenda?
The flood hazard.
Okay,
Yeah, so I published, because we had to publish the public hearing for the flood hazard, so I just published. It's the public hearing for the flood hazard and then any pre-town questions after that.
that's a good move.
When is the school meeting? Is that same night?
I
No,
don't believe though, it's usually the night before town meeting.
Monday.
much Monday.
Okay.
And Gio's gonna be there.
Yes,
Okay. And hopefully some of the planning commission members, Emily, I think is really good about talking about it. So that would be nice for sort of the planning commission to be able to answer, since they've had so much their hands on this for a lot longer than we have, I think, that they can answer some of those questions.
yes.
I would like to hear, someone who could say something about what would happen if it gets voted down. Where the state comes in and says, our, their sort of apply. Would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
Because I think people are thinking that if they vote it down, there won't be any regulations.
Well, we got the existing one.
We got the existing one for the moment, but
Yes,
yeah.
and the state's gonna come in and say it doesn't meet their
Right.
satisfaction, so here's ours.
Mhm. And here's who you call in Montpelier.
And if they voted down, they're not eligible for the federal subsidized insurance. And we don't.
And we don't
Town
get
get the
we don't
additional-
get the bonus. Yeah.
And the taxes are gonna be lowered no matter what we do. Cause they're in the flood hazard area.
No, I'll hit you up for some more specific FEMA numbers so that I can put a number on that bump. Okay.
Did you have anything, Loretta? Anything else, other business?
We still have to talk about the Victoria conversation that we had. Oh, we're going into personnel, sorry.
Yep.
Never mind on that. There was something else. I think that we should, when we have a couple of new people here, I think we should talk about maybe possibly starting earlier on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we can adjust time.
To be able to cover a little bit more. I feel like our meetings are a little bit rushed on certain, especially during certain times of year when we have to push through a lot of things. And so I'd like to be able to leave some time. I guess what I'm asking maybe is like in the agenda, when we have new oncoming members coming on, that we could have a pretty good portion of the agenda be like planning ahead, thinking ahead, talking about what's going to happen for the year ahead and what we want to see.
Future planning.
Yeah, just to get our footings, and so we don't have things fall through the cracks continually, like guardrails, and they're just sort of like all the things that we find important now, but then, things are shift and then we lose track of them.
I think on that note, say budget passes I would contact Lafayette like immediately. Say, we have this much to work with. And, because they seem real receptive and responsive to, coming down. And they do a lot of site visits around the state, and, if they say, well, we're gonna be down there Tuesday around noon. That's how I left it, and he texted me and said, I'm leaving. Whatever town he was in, I'm leaving now. And he got there a few minutes ahead of me, for the most part, it really did to deal with.
Lafayette, that's the guardrail. The
Yeah.
guardrail, yeah.
And honestly, they could probably. They could help us with prioritizing.
I forgot. Am I just missing this in the town report? Is there a report from Loretta, the police department?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a
Yeah.
report in everyone
Mhm.
that lists like how many calls going to the Heartland dispatch and how many like calls she answers, that kind of thing.
I don't know if there's a call count in Loretta's report, but you can certainly ask her for stats and she will pull them.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Hey, do you guys have any suggestions for us for how to, in your experience? What town meeting is like and what you feel works best, or how you like feel a good town meeting goes?
Stay calm.
Stay calm, and I think,
Yeah.
hearing from all three people instead of, there's times when it was dominated by one,
Mhm.
I think. I've been through a weird spell because I was here during COVID when there was just 5 of us in the gym. You know, and it was really strange.
Mhm.
And that's when there was the table got taken away. And like, it's funny what hot button issues are. So, it's gonna be
Well, with the free table.
the free table.
Yeah.
Got pulled away. You know, you change that or the mascot, and you're gonna have torches and a million people show up.
When you talk about nothing else except that.
Right, you kind of do, and
Yeah.
then they'll say, well, what about, it's pretty much. You know, stay focused, so last year was a lot of roads. I think,
So you're saying if we bring back the free table, we could skate through, guys? Yeah, through this.
so. In the past, back when I was on the school board, we would do, the school board, select board, same night. And then we'd swap every other year. And sometimes, like, if the select board was getting their butts handed to them, the school board was like smooth as silk. So I'm not saying. I think some of the steam or some of the wind is gonna be taken out of the set of the. Cause I think you're gonna get, I think people who are gonna vote for the floodplain ordinance are gonna vote for it, or the bylaw, right? But the people who are gonna show up are probably gonna be the most vocal against it. That would be my guess. But. The longer that conversation goes on, the easier yours is gonna be, because people have. Like, they have a clock, you know, they have to go home too, and they get tired. But I think that I have in the past just made myself a cheat sheet to say, well, with this road, or with this road, or with this road, or with this road. I tried to have an answer, and then occasionally, but not often, somebody's gonna throw you a question that's really out there. And other thing is, they really will find a line. And say, why is this different? And oftentimes it's like, you just deleted a line and like, say there was two fuel and grease and.
I have not moved anything this year.
No, you know, but there's like 2 line items in highway
Yeah.
for fuel and grease,
Yeah.
and then they'll say, why did that double? Well, actually,
No.
there were 2 and we made it 1. Oh.
Oh, the other thing that happens is you'll spend all night arguing over $700 and it'll pass some, $100,000 thing to pass.
Right. I would say, these repairs aside, we're better prepared this year than any year we have been for mud season. Like, who would have thunk, you know, you take the grader in to have service the first week of January, and they said they'll have it back on the 15th. And it comes back like April 15th, and it's like, didn't see that coming. You know, we have a full crew. We have, I think we're using better materials. I think there's a lot of positives. There's still always gonna be somebody, that voice message, the email that we got, that was just, they didn't even leave their name, but they certainly left their mark on us. And it was, and I don't recall it being a lot of snow, but it doesn't matter. They feel that way in that moment. And John said, stay calm. You gotta stay calm.
You never know what, you know, they could have had a bad experience getting up the hill or something.
Yeah.
And you know, there isn't much snow there. I had 4 inches and I didn't even plow my own driveway until I get that much.
Meanwhile, 3 flakes and Leo's out there. Breaking. Anyways. Calm.
Well, then I guess I shouldn't be there.
God, you're gonna have to make cookies now.
Mhm,
Just have them
mhm.
sit in
Yeah,
front of you.
yeah.
It's gonna make cookies for everybody.
A town meeting level of cookies. On every seat.
Start baking now.
We have that meeting next, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday with the environmental stormwater master plan. right?
Okay,
Is that when it is? Next Wednesday,
Yeah, I think so.
here, right?
Virtual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I do need to tell Danny about that.
I don't know if John and I need to ask, but I assumed I could stay on, and John assumed he could stay on the sidewalk committee because we've been there since day one.
you're actually not allowed to leave.
Okay.
When I mentioned to Victoria, the ancient files that are up in the old bank building in Royalton Village, I'd like to sort of sort through so we can put them in the dumpster. There's a lot of old files we don't really need. But I don't want to do it in the winter because there's no heat up there.
Okay,
Good idea.
I guess we have an executive session, buddy.
Who are we inviting?
Just us.
You need a motion.
I'll make a motion to go to executive session, talk about a personnel issue with just the select.
Oh, I'll second that, yeah.
Okay, all those in
line,
favor?
line. Aye.
Anyone opposed?
See you, Rita.
No action taken.
A motion we adjourn.
Last chance, Tim.
A second? Okay.